It smells like leaves and thrifting finds, potentially. I don't know. Something about this season, this time of year, that makes me really want to go thrifting more than usual. And I've had some pretty lucky encounters out there recently, so let's go thrifting. Crispy fall thrifts. Always a lovely time to go scrounging around through people's old stuff. Starting with this store here that remodeled over the summer, with all the media now moved towards the front of the store. Games, DVDs, CDs, tapes, records, and so on, as well as a shelf with some of their DVD players for some reason. I mean, I guess it makes sense to put the players with the discs, but the rest of the electronics are all still towards the back of the store. On that note, the back of the store held this lovely wooden beast, a vintage Zenith floor-standing console radio of some kind. I didn't see a model number or anything, so I'm unsure as to when it was made, but it's definitely got that mid-century look to it that I can't help but enjoy somehow. This one seems like a good project for something, though. There was a note saying it needed repairs. No doubt there'd be quite a bit of work getting this fully restored again, but still, $55 for this seems like not the worst deal, in my entirely uninformed opinion. And around the same era of vintage, I saw these framed ads over on a nearby tabletop. One for a Philco refrigerator, and this other one, a downright fascinating stovetop/refrigerator combo. Sounds like a great and terrible idea at the same time, and now I kinda want one for no reason other than morbid curiosity. So yeah, the back of the store here still has the majority of the electronicals, including a substantial row of mid to late 2000s LCD TVs and monitors. And mark my words, now's the time to grab these things. Another 5 or 6 years and this is not a sight you'll see so often. Cool rotating displays, all sorts of 4x3, 5.4, and 16:10 panels that are really useful for pairing with certain systems, and all kinds of handy inputs, resolutions, and refresh rates on these. As with this Samsung LTP 2045U, a 20-incher from 2005, doubling as a 4x3 TV and VGA monitor, integrated power supply, speakers, VGA composite component S-Video RF, really useful on a retro workbench. I was interested in buying it and went to test it out, but unfortunately it didn't receive power at all. Not even so much as a status LED. No signs of life whatsoever, sadly. But yeah, constantly on the lookout for decent mid-2000s displays right now. Well, so here's a fascinating box. It's completely filled with new blank jewel cases. They're all those slimline ones, but still, just hundreds of the things all jammed in there to the point it's overflowing. For $5.50, I mean, that's gotta be a deal to someone, right? And over in the random junk section, I found some random junk, including these new old stock New Coat ink ribbons for IBM Wheelwriters, specifically the 3, 5, and 6 models. Among other IBM and Lexmark typewriters and printers, nothing I'm needing, but hey, whatever, new old stock. Ooh, check out this sharp-looking doohickey. This is a Sharp RT310, a compact player of compact cassettes with an overall look to it that I was immediately drawn to. The color, the controls, the overlays and displays, and of course that all-caps metal logo printed on the bottom left. Honestly, in hindsight, I wish I'd grabbed this since my only deck capable of playing metal tapes recently died. So it goes, dang it, but what can you do? Man, another thing I was really close to grabbing, this beige Western Electric telephone. And normally I don't go for push-button phones of this era, but this is one with those additional switches along the bottom, with red putting the line on hold, and I believe the other 5 for switching between lines. Some proper retro business stuff. I don't think I've ever seen one of these thrifting before. Ooh, toasty! Check out this chromed out old toaster, looking like something straight out of Technology Connections. Yeah, I don't know anything about it in terms of model number or manufacture dates, but what I do know is its design looked amazing. Check out that chunky 2-prong power cord, that braided fabric and everything. What a beast of an old toaster. I've no doubt it'd make amazing toast, provided it didn't burn your house down along with it. Right, so quick detour. I didn't get much footage here since I was only passing by on a road trip over the summer, but I simply had to show y'all. Check out this electronics section. Dude, I haven't seen this many computers in a normal Goodwill store in ages, and never have I seen so many Apple iMacs at one. All those iMac G5s, wow. I know they're super prone to failure, but just look at them, what a sight. Also tons of laptops, including some MacBooks, all for $15 each, only missing the hard drives that I could tell. They even had one of those Motorola Zebra hand scanner things I used to use working retail. A lot of these run Windows Mobile. You can even straight up run Doom on some of these. Rarely ever see them thrifting. But yeah, all those computers. Again, no hard drives. They were sold as desktop shells, but $20, $40, or $60 each. Yeah, there's gotta be some good finds here for someone, either as a project box, restoration, or spare parts, if nothing else. What really grabbed my attention though were these mechanical keyboards. Ooh yeah, obviously I bought both. This Dell AT101 Alps Bigfoot on the right, and an awesome terminal looking thing on the left. I had no idea what it was, but it looked and felt amazing. Turns out it's a Fujitsu N860-2500T111 using 3rd generation Fujitsu leaf spring switches. What a cool find. Well, anyway, back to our regularly scheduled autumn endeavors at the Lucky Rock Goodwill, with our rock friend being completely covered in plant life these days. Poor thing needs a trim, though I guess winter will take care of that soon. Inside was an enlightening sight indeed, with a whole slew of light bulbs taking up this entire shelving unit up front, and good grief, what's that? It's the Great Yard Inflatables Charlie Brown, featuring the classic characters of Snoopy, Woodstock, and Bat. And it looks like they've remodeled this store too since the last time I was here, with a new, smaller electronics wall next to the glass display cases. A pretty disappointing sight, to be honest. They usually have a decently broad selection of electronic goodies, but it seems they've consolidated down to basic AV gear. Though the more I looked around, the more I found. I think they're in the middle of organizing still, since things were scattered all across the store on random shelves, carts, and end caps. That being said, the half of the store that used to be nothing but clothes now has much more. Like this whole wall filled with sporting goods, outdoor gear, neckties, suitcases, and so on. And the toys, puzzles, and board games are now found over past the children's clothing section, including an unusually curated selection of books, games, and movies aimed at kids, I guess. Normally these are all mixed in with the other books, games, and movies, and there's still a whole shelf's worth of media up front, just now some of them are over here, like this copy of Luxor 3 for PC and Madden 05 for Xbox. Rather arbitrary choices. Anyway, over at the front media section, I noticed this Pink Floyd thing straight away. This is part of the Shine On box set from 1992, with 8 utterly classic albums, A Saucer Full of Secrets, on through to Momentary Lapse of Reason, and more. Certainly would have taken this home if it had the rest of the stuff that came in the box, but alas, it's only the discs, and I don't actively collect CDs, so I left it for someone else. Across from there were a handful of titles for PC, with some edition of Guild Wars 2, The Sims 3 Plus University Life Combo Pack, and The Elder Scrolls Online. All stuff I have, a very late 20-teens selection indeed. Over on the end, I noticed this copy of Civ 4 Warlords, which is not unusual, except for the fact it was a European release with a PEGI 12 plus rating on there. I always wonder how these things end up in a random thrift store in the North Carolina mountains. Down below that was a fascinating find as well. It was a copy of the movie Vice, but the packaging was bizarre, so I had to take a look, and yeah, it turns out this was a for your consideration copy of the movie. One of those sent out to movie industry folks for their consideration. Basically a promo copy sent out on loan to those voting in awards ceremonies, with instructions on the disc to destroy when they were done. Guess that didn't happen? Again, how does this end up in a mountain Goodwill? No idea, but it's kinda neat. Then over in the back corner of the store is yet another media section where amongst the audiobooks I noticed this MPC CD-ROM sticker. This is something called The Big Green Disc, the interactive guide to saving the world, circa 1994. Still sealed. Apparently the previous owner didn't care for any world saving, but I was intrigued enough to grab this weirdness for myself. Especially since I didn't see much about it online at all, not even a single photo of the big box itself. Speaking of big boxes, over in the holiday crap area, I found this unused copy of PCCillin Internet Security 2006? Dang, that's a late release for a big box program. Nothing I care to own whatsoever, but still, big boxes are big. As are these. What are these? I didn't know, but I had to take a look at these OGs. OG meaning our generation, it seems. These ice cream trucks being part of a 130-piece accessory set for 18-inch dolls from 2016. Rich kid toys. Over in one of the glass cases were a bunch more Xbox games, an increasingly rare sight these days. Some good stuff, but a lot of sports titles too. And why weren't these over in the kids section with Madden 05? The world may never know. Over in this other case were some nifty doodads, vintage Ansco and Polaroid film cameras, and this surprising sight, a Seeburg Wall-O-Matic. One of those wall box remote controller things for jukeboxes from the 1940s and 50s. I'm not sure if this is an original or not, but it sure looked the part, and they'd certainly priced it that way at $350. Regardless, it's neat to see. What the heck? Clam broth? Brothed clam on tap. Although the prominent lobster has me confused. Is it lobster or clam? Maybe it's lobster and clam. Ooh, I can only imagine this brothy luxury. Alright, now this is some tripod weirdness. What have we here? Looks like 4 car stereo speakers crammed in a box. I am intrigued. So this is a Hilton Audio wide-angle speaker system apparently made for square dancing parties. I guess that's what came up online. Honestly, not much comes up about this model in particular, but hey, that is one funky looking design and seems like it'd be pretty useful for filling a dance hall. I approve. Got an interesting stack of hi-fi gear down here, all by Kenwood, and I can only assume it all came in together. Always fun to see what was most likely someone's setup from back in the day, especially one with a dedicated equalizer and amplifier components like this. I quite like the look of these too. This is from the era of black plastic that I actually don't mind. It's more chunky and squared off, with less of the rounded edges and blobby appearance of certain things from the late 90s, early 2000s. And that 6-disc CD changer is pretty sweet as well. Man, and that remote control with the LCD screen on it, yeah, someone had a neat little setup. Oh, and hey, it's one of those 60s, 70s portable turntable setups. This one from Zenith. I love that off-white platter. And of course, that tasteful wood grain accenting the control panel. Ooh, and integrated circuits. There's also something about the way those speakers look. I don't know why, it's just kind of cool. As was this setup, where I noticed the speakers first and then saw that the player was still attached. Yeah, check out this Panasonic SE2070 stack, a combination record player, receiver, and speaker set. Still has the documentation even, that's always awesome. And dang, despite needing a cleaning, this looks pretty spiffy. Very plasticky, but very appealing regardless. Especially paired with the receiver, which was up above and on another shelf. This piece alone would be fun to have. Every time I see a matching set like this, I wish I had a whole dedicated hi-fi room. And speaking of wishes, we've got to see what this Aladdin device is. Because I see beige and I see a CRT, you see, so let's see here. Well, what we have here is a Telesensory Aladdin Rainbow, a low-vision magnifying color display, effectively a monitor, camera, and lighting system, helping folks with ailing vision see things larger on a 14-inch CRT. And of course, I had to plug it in and test it out, and man, how cool is this? I truly have no need for it. I don't have anywhere to put it, but you stick anything underneath there and it magnifies it several times with surprisingly good results after using the focus knob, and god dang it, I was struggling here. I really was. I don't need this. I don't need it, but I do. Oh, that's super cool. Somehow, some way I managed to say no and not take it home because I really didn't need it, and yet this footage gives me some tinge of regret. Anyway, yeah, that's all for episode 49 of LGR Thrifts. Didn't take much home this time, but rarely do I anymore. Thrifting ain't what it used to be. But there's still great stuff if you go often enough and get lucky, like with these 2 excellent keyboards and that weird mid-90s software I'd never heard of. Fun stuff, at least in my view. Especially those keyboards. The Dell works great, but I haven't been able to test the Fujitsu due to its unusual 8-pin DIN connection. If anyone watching has the skills to create an adapter, please get in touch. Seriously, I want to use this thing. But even if I don't, it was just fun finding stuff out thrifting once again, and it seems y'all are still having fun as well, sending in thrifting find photos on the LGR socials and email and all that. So thanks for that, and continuing to support thrifts and LGR in general. I can't believe we are approaching episode 50 of Thrifts. Don't know when that'll happen. As usual, it takes time to put these together, and it really does rely on luck. So we'll see when that happens, but yeah, looking forward to that. And as always, thanks for watching this episode of Thrifts.